I do not know why a sign for Baycroft Gap should be on the road. And let me tell you why this matters, sir. I come from Sinclair Road in Haggett Hall. And one time, I was going back up there to visit my dad, passed through one Saturday morning, the sign is down. Not only is it down, it mashed up. Can't read the word. I don't know how other people feel, right? But when I come from a place, when I identify with a place, when I live in a place, and the message being sent to me is, I ain't even care enough about you and your place to pick up the sign off the ground. What does that say to the same young people that we are complaining have no regard for their communities? Do we? Do we? Royal Court, up the road in Britons Hill, same thing. Signs just falling on the ground as if people don't walk about. It is a slap in the face of the people in those communities, and especially the young people who are happy to tell you where they come from. How many people in this honorable place are my colleagues tired of hearing that I come from Sinclair Road? Tired of hearing that I went to Belmont Primary School? I identify with those places. When people identify with a place and you do not show them, demonstrate to them that you are willing to invest in it, forget about these issues of matters of social cohesion and all these fancy things that we like to stand up in here and talk about. Low-hanging fruit. And I dare say that we did not need $34.2 million US for that. Because that should be in the regular maintenance of the responsible ministry. Because the same way that I see that sign on the ground, somebody else has to see it. We don't walk about. We don't walk about. And the same way that I feel something in the pit of my stomach, on behalf of those people who come from that gap, the rest don't feel something in the pit of their stomach when you see that. And so, sir, I support these efforts tremendously. I know, as does the member for Christchurch East Central, as does now the member for St. Philip West, that coming to these negotiated agreements is not easy. So the member for Christchurch South, the honorable leader of the opposition, could stand up in here and guess about how easy it is to go away and get some money and come back. As if, when I was small, I used to read about the faraway tree and the land of take what you want. So he must take the guy of faraway tree and you climb the tree and you go and pick up $35 million for urban renewal. In an environment where multilateral institutions are barely lending for that anymore because they're telling countries this should be a part of your core financing. But when a country has been left to decay, as certain parts of Barbados were, you can't do it all from your core finance. You can't do it all from your central budget. You have to be able to find the resources to bring the place up to speed. So the second part of these resources that relate to the polyclinics and primary care in Barbados, I will not say much about, except to say this. A similar concept applies. We know, I believe evidence has shown, that if we invest more, yes, we need the infrastructure, we need the buildings, we need to upgrade the facilities, but we also need to invest in the people inside those facilities. And we also need to invest in the knowledge and the information. I regret that I will sound like a stuck record on these matters, because the less we invest in primary health care, the more we're going to have to invest at the tertiary level. And the fact is that the rates of severe illness from the kinds of things that we can prevent are outstripping the public finances. And it is happening in many countries around the world. Put simply, I am saying the following. A country will find it very difficult to keep up with spending money on treatment when things have gone too far. It will find it far easier to be able to invest at the primary level, to be able to make sure, as I'm seeing that this project does, to make sure that there are expanded dental facilities. So I grew up going to Lady Mead, it was at the time, Sir Winston Scott Polyclinic. We called it Lady Mead. And I still remember the 2 dental hygienists I used to go to. It probably wasn't the best idea that in exchange for us behaving at the dentist, my mother used to carry us to Purity and buy a jump up. But at least that was only a couple times a year. But investing at that level meant that there was less money to spend on care, on treatment later on. And I hear all of the things that we're saying about what is needed at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and the fact that people expect to get top of the line surgery and other interventions for illness. I hear that, I understand. And I think that it is noble for any country to target universal tertiary health care. However, when we take the pie and we cut it, when we look at the competing cases, when we look at the competing levels of intervention, it is a very difficult thing to ask a CEO of a hospital or a doctor in a hospital, well, where are you going to spend the money? On this particular manifestation of an NCD or that one? On this particular manifestation of smoking for 20 years or another manifestation of cancer or of a different kind of cancer? These are the things that are uncomfortable questions. But the fact is that unless we change the model of healthcare to front-load investment at the primary time, at the level of the polyclinic, to teach people how to eat, how much to eat, what not to eat, how much to move, how much you need to sleep, the fact that alcohol is poison and is poisoning our bodies. I see certain heads snap up in here and look at me. But the evidence is showing that. I am not judging your choices, but the evidence is showing that. They used to say, how many ever drinks a week? No, they say there is nothing redeeming in alcohol consumption. There is nothing. I know I want the member to look, that looking at me to stop looking at me, or I might have to make reference to who they are. There's nothing. We're killing ourselves with that. So talk straight to the people and let them know that these are the habits that mean that you may find yourself in a line at a hospital in 20 years looking for treatment because many other people took the decisions that you took. Or you could go a different route and make other choices. Because there will also be people who find themselves there through no doing of their own. And our public finances have to make sure to cover those particular cases. So we are all competing for healthcare, and I believe that this kind of project that seeks to invest at the primary level is critical, along with the other kinds of messages that I just made reference to, because it means that people will take care of themselves. And this is not just a financial issue for the government. It's not just about decreasing what we have to spend at the hospital on dialysis and on other things. It's also about quality of life. Making sure that while people are alive, they're able to enjoy the work they're able to enjoy their children, they're able to enjoy their environment, and they were able to really live and have that sense of well-being that we committed to be able to improve.